Hello YouTube, X, Twitter, the world, wherever you are. I hope you are okay. It just occurred to me that a dictatorship, a totalitarian regime, that's unnatural. It's against natural law. It is. When you think of it, what happens in nature if there is one very particular predominant species? Right. Then nature would get destroyed, but nature loves to create, and being too predominant is equal to being too totalitarian, too much of a dictatorship that stifles new inventions, new insights, that stifles historical discussions even, to learn from the past, regardless who did what. I mean, they are long gone. And the only way to honor them, in my opinion, is if you learned from their mistakes, right? From their mistakes. Yes, you can celebrate them like saints. But if you don't learn from their mistakes, then what did we learn? What kind of sacrifice did they make? Either way, to show a bad example or a good example, it doesn't matter. You learn from looking to both sides. Oh, that's a very bold chicken. Okay. So yes, I think it's against natural law. I think it's like a duty as a Christian to be opposed against tyranny, because tyranny is the opposite of creation. It destroys. So yes, that's my few cents about natural law, common sense natural law, by just thinking about God and its creation, about the intention behind it. That's something, if you are a Christian, you are thinking about, right? Sometimes. What is the purpose? What is the meaning of it all? Why are you here? These questions, right? So I'm not sure why I am here. I hope I serve some purpose, like with the dogs, for example. Or with my neighbors, perhaps with family. That you serve a purpose, that you might not be on this planet just for yourself. That you fit into a much greater picture After all, it's all with a designer behind it. Science proves it. So there must be a purpose behind the design. Ergo, a purpose about you and a purpose about me, about us all. And I'm quite sure there is also a purpose for tyranny. After all, you need opposites to have a example. Black and white. How else will you recognize black or white? The purpose of free will. The greatest gift of all. It truly is. Your free will. The government can come any day, any moment, and take everything away, right? They can. You see it happening everywhere. Bandits can come. Someone can take your clothes, steal your clothes, your food, take your life. All with their own free will, against, of course, my will. That might be obvious. But nonetheless, the same free will that was granted to me, to you, to anyone. But the one thing this free will also gave you is your word. Your word. All started with a word, the Bible says, right? Your word. No one can ever steal from you. No one can ever take it from you without your consent. And that takes a free will, correct? Otherwise you are coerced. So yes, that's why Jesus was opposed against totalitarian regimes, or at least that's what I think. Anyways, I said it many times in some of the institutes I worked with. A few of those young, between brackets, criminals, when they asked me who was my idol, and they had 50 Cents and Tupac, and who is my idol, and I told them, Jesus, and they start laughing, and I told them, you hate the system? Yeah, oh, for fuck's sure, they hated the system. I said, okay. Now imagine how powerless you feel right now. Yes, they feel powerless. I said, okay. But you are not crucified, right? No, they were not crucified. You are not whipped. No, they were not. And I summed up some of those things that Jesus experienced. And one of the guys asked, hey, but what is the connection? And I told him, he hated the system too. And he never bowed. So therefore he is my greatest hero. And then they understood. Maybe you too. Have a nice day, YouTube.